about, but that's the bottom line. Bottom line is I absolutely lay this out to any Hillary Clinton supporter. You have my permissions and come on my air. I will give you, we would go back and forth, 5 minutes speak time. I'll go 5 minutes. I won't interrupt you. You don't interrupt me. And I need you to make the case that Bernie Sanders is the racist that everyone is trying to promote him to be. Here's the problem I have with Hillary Clinton's campaign. They have the need to make Bernie Sanders out to be a misogynist, make him out to be a racist, make him out to be a homophobe, which is completely counter to anything anyone has ever known about the man. But they have a need to make him that for the purposes of winning. Here's the problem I have with the Bernie Sanders campaign, as brought to you by Kevin and Solomon, the first two callers. They're not pushing back against these false narratives in a very systematic and effective way. In other words, they're not bringing the hammer down. So much so to the point where I really am like, God, you know, I don't really, you know, they don't, the black celebrity that would be useful to help. How can I say this? I feel like Cornel West, Killer Mike, and Nina Turner are doing all they can do, but it's not quite enough. Because the things that Killer Mike and Cornel West and Nina Turner represent, and Big Boy out of ATL, and the things that he espouses politically, whenever he espouses them politically, you know, the other things. But anyway, the things that they represent and they stand for are so critical for the black community. And so what do? What do the Hillary Clinton supporters do? They attack the people and the person. And they make this a referendum against President Obama, that somehow Bernie Sanders has a problem with President Obama. But that's just a disingenuous reverse racism play to try to spook black people into thinking that Bernie Sanders has a race problem. It's so disingenuous and so manipulative. And it requires you, the listener, to have zero nuance. Now, I still hear Kevin and I still hear Solomon, and I think Umar may have said something the same. I still hear it in the back of my head, but I'm not going to worry about what Bernie Sanders' campaign is doing wrong. You guys can obviously tweet them. But I want you to understand how Hillary Clinton needs you to react. Her surrogates and the people who are putting out this stuff. Hillary Clinton herself is probably not putting this out, but all the people around her. They need you to react with a knee-jerk, visceral reaction to any headline that they put out. No matter how inaccurate the headline is, no matter how untruthful the headline is, no matter how absurd and ridiculous to the actual facts it is, they are. They need you to operate in a world with zero nuance and zero investigation and just be angry, like David Brock tried to make the black community angry last week with Bernie Sanders doesn't think Black Lives Matter. Anyone who requires that type of reaction out of you is decidedly not someone who should be leading you. And if Hillary Clinton herself is not out there doing these things, then she needs to pull her team. She's responsible for them. She needs to get them in check because they are requiring her followers to be so intentionally obtuse, my favorite two words, intentionally obtuse, that they would believe anything that's fed to them, including this false narrative that is decidedly untrue, that Bernie Sanders is somehow a racist. So this is what I'm going to do. The best advice I can give Bernie Sanders supporters is absolutely do not engage. Don't engage with Hillary Clinton supporters. Don't engage with Black Lives Matter. Let it go and let other people take care of it, which I have no problem doing. There's other people, there's other voices on the internet that are very effective in shutting down the lies. But I would say to the average person, stand down, because your tweets, your social media, your posts, your Facebook posts, your emails, all this is being used against you because of the last thing that I want to talk about. God, it finally came back to me. All right, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Then I'm getting the hell out of here.